Video, I am looking to essentially question the wisdom behind subsidizing diesel for private vehicle owners. Now, we all understand that diesel in India is heavily subsidized, essentially because it is meant for you know, the public vehicles and the larger vehicles which transport goods across the country. But as we have seen in recent times, more and more private vehicle owners are increasingly moving towards vehicles which run on diesel. In my personal opinion, I feel this is not fair and this is not justified. Unnecessarily, the government loses out on a lot of money which it could have earned, and more than that, what I feel is that there's a lot of diesel which is being consumed in India, which is invariably leading to more and more pollution. I think that is simply not necessary, not something which is justified. I think the government needs to move towards selective subsidy of diesel, wherein public vehicles, public transport vehicles such as trucks, buses, etc., which run on diesel continue to receive subsidies, whereas private vehicle owners, especially cars, essentially cars which run on diesel, need not pay a subsidized price for the diesel which they consume. This feeling of mine has essentially been inspired by the fact that today there are luxury cars, high-end luxury cars which run on diesel. These are people who definitely do not need the subsidy which the government is providing on diesel. So why make people pay less for something which they can actually afford to pay more? I know that private diesel vehicle car owners will not like what I'm saying, but fact of the matter is that unnecessarily you're being subsidized and you are contributing towards the pollution in the country, when you could easily be on say fuel such as petrol, or you could be on diesel which is not subsidized, wherein you will actually have less of an incentive to own a diesel vehicle in the first place. So this is something which I strongly feel. Now, I do understand that it is not very easy to implement, but the way in which it can probably be done is that at the consumer's end, which is at the petrol pumps or the fuel pumps, what you essentially do is that you have a separate way dispensing mechanism, and indeed a separate pricing system for any public vehicle which comes into for diesel, whereas when you have a private car, diesel car which is coming in, you have a separate queue and a separate pricing for that. I think that's the only way in which you can do away with subsidy for private vehicle owners which run on diesel. And why why this inspiration for this is essentially come from the fact that private vehicle ownership of cars which run on diesel has gone up phenomenally in recent times. As I understand, latest statistics suggest that about 15% of diesel consumed in India is by private cars, which run on diesel. I think, and this was never so much, in the past, almost the entire consumption of diesel was by larger public vehicles which were meant for transporting more people or goods across the country, but not for private cars, private vehicles. That has gone up phenomenally, thanks to the fact that the pricing of diesel in India is such that it's much lower than petrol. So the manufacturers started offering more and more diesel vehicles. People started taking to them naturally in a big way, even though diesel vehicles tend to cost higher than petrol vehicles at the initially, but then over time the cost is offset by the fact that you pay much less for fuel. So each year, the running cost per se is so much lower that it kind of offsets the higher price that you pay for the vehicle. So the bottom line, what I'm suggesting is that do away with subsidy on diesel for private vehicle owners. They probably are not justified in enjoying the benefits, the merits of this subsidy, and unnecessarily we are seeing a phenomenal increase in the consumption of diesel in the country. Thank you.